temps s'en va. Samuel est au fils. Bienvenue au 20h. Le pichichi. Alors, la fleur est donc remise à Samuel Eto'o, un bouquet de fleurs. Du côté donc de Ngambé, il commence la campagne. Alors, c'est un studio spécial qui a donc réuni tous les hommes donc politiques. Bienvenue,
my dear people of the United Kingdoms of Tika, Bamenda Highlands, I greet you all.
Okay.
Today we are going to tackle the entire Tika land, the Highlands, what they call Northwest right now. If care is not taken, worse days are coming. Pain is coming upon our land if care is not taken. So if you are from the Tika land, pay attention to this video. Every minute of this video, our land is under siege. The plans of Atanganjipo to destroy the entire Tika land is on the rise, and all of us need to be cautioned moving forward. So I would like us to dive straight into some of the utterances he made, so that we have perspective on the enemies within. Because if there is no enemy within my people, the enemy outside can do us no harm. Your greatest pain is coming from within, not outside. Your suffering is coming from within, not outside. That is the map of the United Kingdoms of Tika on your screen. In as much as Kumbo is being attacked right now, we have to build a defense system around the entire geographical location of Tika. So pay attention to this video. We are going to dive into some of the utterances of Minister Atanganjipo, so you can have perspective. Again, if there is no enemy within, my brother, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So let's take a listen.
Because the criminals and the terrorists still want to give that impression, the false impression, that they are still very active. We say no. The population have completely rejected the terrorist activities in the region.
In this video, Minister Atanganjipo will reveal those who have been complying, those who have been complicit, the sellouts from within, and you are going to hear him say it with his own mouth. And then we are going to set some guidelines moving forward. They will promise you temporary relief. They will promise you security. They will promise you money. Minister Atanganjipo is not the Minister of Defense. From the way he speaks, he doesn't know his role in Cameroon. He doesn't know his role as the Minister of Territorial Administration. And you can tell from his countenance that everything he says is full of lies. If you put that under a lie detector, it is going to come out. You can read his body language. Everything he says is full of deception. He has promised Yaoundé that I will bring these cattle to the slaughterhouse. They are Bamenda people, they are my people, I know them. I will bring them so you can trim their necks. And he took that oath. Most of the things he says, Pobia said, no, Pobia did not say those things. It's coming from him. It is his idea. And you can tell the passion when someone is reporting based on what he's been instructed. You can tell the difference. Most of these ideas come from him, not Pobia. So don't confuse the two and hold him accountable. And his team and his Atanganji boys, not Pobia. Pobia is the mask that they put before you to destroy you. Don't be confused this time around. We hear you speak, those words are coming out of your mouth, and we are going to hold you accountable. Full stop. How can you call them terrorists and then you create a DDR camp to harbor terrorists? It doesn't add up. If they are terrorists, let them be terrorists. If you can bring them over to DDR, and then you know they are not terrorists. So let's keep going. There's a lot for you to learn through this video. So remain calm and let's proceed.
The administrative authorities have done their job to sensitize the population to collaborate with the government. The force
to sensitize the population to collaborate with the government. So number one, population collaborating with the government. It is not guns that has destroyed the Tika land. It's not government that has destroyed the Tika land. It's the population. So he will reveal their secrets. Because this kind of third world thinking, and you can figure out what is going on. So population, number one, do not cooperate with Minister Atanganji and their government and their Atanganji boys. As I'm speaking to you today, after this message, change your SIM card. Disassociate from Atanganji. Your end is hell. And those temporal relief that they promise you, my brother, the Bamileke people were destroyed 70 years ago by Ayijo's government using the same strategy. Today, they have used the same strategy on you and it has worked. Number one, they labeled the UPC fighters rebels. Today, they have labeled you terrorists. Number two, they use the population against their fighters. These young men in the bush, they are fighting for your future, while this man is fighting for his stomach. That is the difference. And you can comply with what he's saying, thinking that he's going to give you long-term relief, but that is not what you will get at the end of the day. 70 years later, a son from the West region, Maurice Kamto, rose up to become president. They won't even allow him to be a presidential candidate. This is the long-term effect of complicity. You can eat right now, but the long-term effects are disastrous. Bamileke land is right there for you to learn. They call it the Bamileke country. Today, as I speak with you, there is little trust between the chiefs and the population in the Bamileke land. Till date. Go there and ask. Because why? The chiefs complied with the Ayijo government. Today, the chiefs complying with Atanganji Paul and Paul Biya. That throne forms of the Northwest that you're sitting on. Your ancestors preserved that throne so you can protect your people. Let's keep listening.
Of law and order, and all the defense forces have been very professional in tackling all the terrorist activities in the region. Will always reject you. The state will reject the terrorists. And now the strange story is that even Lucifer is rejecting the terrorists.
See the doubt in the faces of the people around him. Look at how that man is looking at places. Look at that man's eyes. See how they are looking at places. You can tell from their body language. These things are before you. You will know whether these people are for you or not. You can tell. Just see, look at his eyes. Tika people, you are the last hope to spark change in this region for the rest of the people around you to wake up. If you failed, you've let down the entire neighboring civilizations, the coastal people, the north, and the east central. You are the last hope. Chiefs, funds of the Northwest, the population of the Northwest, as they call you now. If you let down your guards, you've betrayed everybody around here. God preserved you here for a purpose. They called you crazy. Today, Issa Churuma Bakari is saying, oh, I'm sorry, I was coaxed by this government. Look at their eyes. Just look at their faces.
Lucifer's kingdom is a temple of evil. But Lucifer is telling the terrorists from the northwest and the southwest that we asked you to commit atrocities, but you have committed more atrocities than we expected. So you don't even have a space in Lucifer's kingdom.
We are going to listen to Professor Lumumba explain Cameroon, because when Atanga Nji Paul says what he says, you might like, oh, maybe it makes sense. Let's listen to what other people think about this country. And one thing I want to reiterate, Minister Atanga Nji Paul is not the Minister of Defense. And they will never give you that position. And you can't act as though you are the Minister of Defense because you come from Northwest. Let's listen to Professor Lumumba, how individuals like this should be treated now or in the future. If you want a community that earns the respect of the world, and we can do that in our lifetime, in the next 1 year, this internal betrayal can stop completely in the Northwest, in the Tika land. My people, what you will understand is when our chiefs, funds, population comply with individuals like Atanga Nji Paul, you are respected the least around the world. That is why Ethiopia is distancing itself from sub-Sahara Africa. They are the only country that was never colonized. Ethiopia. Do you ask why? Because their funds and their chiefs and their population refuse to comply with the Italians. And they failed. No gun can put down a united population. They will exploit all rivalries to divide and roll you. They will say, oh, this village did this to you. No. Don't let that divide your energy right now. We will solve any internal problem in the Northwest after all this is said and done. Southwest is not your brother. The colonial master Britain said so. And all this destruction and pain that we are experiencing in this geographical location, Southwest, Douala and Kribi invited it during this era of slavery and slave trade, and then it continued through colonization. But if you look at it well, Southwest, Douala and Kribi invited this pain upon all of us. They started this game. They raided our land. They are not our brothers. Britain is not the one to choose who becomes our brother. And as the Bamileke people begin to understand their history and the relationship we have together, even the West region will be a shield for you. Because if the West region betrays us, they are betraying themselves. You're betraying your own brother. So don't let them tell you, oh, this village did this to you. Don't let that confuse you. Cooperate. The people in Mezam, cooperate. The people in Bui, cooperate. The entire Northwest should be united right now like never before. If what Atanga Nji Paul was doing was really helping, you would have seen joy, unity, and the people happy with their funds, and the community would have been at peace. But look at it. Funds, I'm sure you should do your research. Your people don't trust you. Trust between you and your people have dropped significantly. And this is time to build back that trust. And if you guys listen to what I'm saying, you will be respected for generations to come. But if you continue with Atanga Nji Paul and that government, there will be a red ink around your name. Because this was the time your people needed you the most. And you let them down. And if they promise you some short-term gain, they promise you protection, that is slavery. The Bamileke people that complied with the French army thought things would be fine for them. 70 years later, they will not allow a son from their land to even stand as a presidential candidate in Cameroon. History always repeats itself. If this crisis comes to an end, Atanga Njipo wins with this government, Joshua Osih and Akere Muna are allowed as presidential candidates because of this Anglophone crisis. After this is all said and done, the same discrimination that you see against the Bamileke people, that is what will happen to us, the Northwesterners. If you lay low and succumb to this system, it will take 100 years for any son from that land to be a presidential candidate in that new country. Issa Chiruma comes from that north that cooperated with the French army and took over 300,000 Bamileke people. And today they are rising to go vote for him. That is all Cameroon. Colonial game, my people, is over. Tell them that game here is over. Go back to your place. We don't need your protection. We don't need your army. This is called decolonization of Africa. This is called restoring our heritage. Going back to who we were before this colonial game started. We were a kingdom here, and that is what we are rebuilding. Go back. Listen to Professor Lumumba.
I've been talking to a friend of mine from the Cameroons who tells me what is happening in their country right now. And other African countries are blind to it. How many people have died in the Cameroons in the 30 years that Paul Biya has been the president through corruption, and all that money is tucked away in Paris in France? This is a crime against humanity, for which punishment should be the ultimate punishment. And in China they do exactly that. They come to this part of the world, they corrupt our leaders, but if you are corrupt in China, they'll deal with you firmly, swiftly, and take away your life.
If you are corrupt in China, they will deal with you and take away your life. These are other leaders outside of your country looking at what is happening inside, and these are recommendations. This is what should happen to people like Atanga Njipo and Paul Biya, especially Minister Atanga Nji. I said, change your SIM card if you are associating with that man. The long-term effect upon you, your family, and your village is going to be disastrous.
So that you are no longer a danger to society.
Let me play it again so you hear a little bit of what he said, moving close to the end. Let's listen.
Crime against humanity, for which punishment should be the ultimate punishment. And in China they do exactly that. They come to this part of the world, they corrupt our leaders, but if you are corrupt in China, they'll deal with you firmly, swiftly, and take away your life, so that you are no longer a danger to society.
So this man is a danger to society. You heard it from those who are watching from the outside, that these individuals should not be allowed in our society. If you're complying with him, you are also saying you should not be allowed in society. When we are complicit to individuals like this, we are promoting corruption. When we comply with individuals like this, we are saying to the entire world, never trust a black man. They are inferior by nature because of their thinking and complicity. That is the message we are sending across the world. For those of you in America who go to the embassy or to the immigration, most of the black people working there are from Ethiopia. Right? They trust Ethiopians in this country with their homeland security. They don't trust most of us from sub-Saharan Africa. They trust the Jews, they trust Ethiopians. So whatever you're doing in the continent is affecting your people as they go around the world. And that means little money coming back. Over 30% of the GDP of Cameroon comes from remittances. Diaspora money, bush faller money. They are watching you because we pick some of these clips, sit down with our white friends and other friends and have them listen to these people. And they give us feedback of what they think about individuals like this. Right? They tell you this is a kind of human being not to trust. And you have them in your community and they are leaders. We praise them. If you call this man even wise man, it tells me who you are. Grand, wise man. If this is a wise man to you, it tells me who you are and the kind of community we have and where we are going. This is a maggot. That is what somebody wrote in the comment section. That this man is more than a maggot. Tumbo quotes the Bible. I mean, is it the same Bible that I read? Even the devil will quote the Bible to fulfill their agenda. The misinterpretation of the Bible is the highest weapon that has been used for our subjugation. And individuals like this have the courage to quote the Bible. That hellfire you're talking about will be so tense on you because you won't speak your way out of that hell. And anybody who complies, walks with him, so-called Atanganji boys, disassociate yourself from this man. Disassociate. Funds of the Northwest, disassociate yourself from this man. The Bamileke people never lost that war because France was strong. The Bamileke people lost that war because of chiefs that betrayed their people because of internal spies. And so you have to learn to distance yourself from anyone that complies with Atanganjipo. Stop talking to them. Change your SIM card and only give your number to people that mean well for you. All of a sudden you realize those complying with this government will start making adjustments or flee from the Northwest. That is how America fixed this country. 80,000 people who were acting like that ran away from America to Britain, to the Caribbeans. Some went to Africa. They meant business. And we are the hope for this country, the hope for this region, the hope for Africa. That is our assignment that you have been given.
Are coming back to normalcy, and there is a good collaboration between administrative authorities, the forces of law and order, and the local population. Sincerely, the President of the Republic.
He has revealed to you those who are complying with them for their own destruction. The authorities in the Northwest, the funds in the Northwest, the population in the Northwest. These are the people providing information to La Republique on which village to target, on which group to target in the Northwest. Because they are so ignorant and they say it and you can pick it up.
Has instructed me to extend to all of you his encouragement. Administrative authorities, the forces of law and order, the defense forces, for your professionalism and all what we have done despite the security challenges to keep the region of the Northwest under control. I want to tell you that President Paul Biya, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, is very, very much satisfied with what we have done so far. And he has asked me to tell you not to relent, to stay vigilant, because the enemy is always around us.
And he has said it right. The enemy is always around us, and that is him. That is the enemy around us, coming from us. Let's stop blaming the white man. You should look for the enemy, discover who the enemy is, take the enemy out of your community. Don't entertain any conversations from them. My people, if we cooperate within 1 year, this man will lose that job. 1 year, this man will be irrelevant in this country. You are the only one that will use your mouth to destroy your community and give people like this power, and that they will never provide anything for you or help you. You are the ones, you the fund, you the citizen in the Tika land that will pick up the phone when he calls, or you pick up the phone and call him and give information to destroy your land. The Bamileke people were destroyed, I repeat again, not because French soldiers were strong, not because La République was strong, because of people talking like women. And today, we are looked at as inferior, grass-field people, dull people, because of a bigger clown like this that has been bought to destroy his people. He said, I'll go there and bring them like cows, including those pawns. I will bring them. Don't worry, I will talk to them. I will bring the whole population like cows so that you can slaughter them. And he has done a good job at it. Why? Because you comply. Little food, false security. The real people that are fighting for your future, to preserve your throne, that is the people you sell out so that they can destroy, while you keep evil people like this. When they are talking about the problems in Africa, I'm doing this so that we be practical about solving these problems. Disassociate yourself from this man. You see peace, structure, honor upon your kingdoms in Bamenda within 1 year. And every young man bearing arms, again, never kidnap your own for ransom. Never disturb your people when they are going out to bury the dead. Respect your population. Che Guevara made it clear that a gorilla is like a fish and the population is the water. If the water dries up, how will that fish swim? If you betray the population, how do you expect to move? How? You betray your own self and betray your own people. Respect them, love the people. That is why I say in your spare time, farm, do something. Provide for your people. This is the new country we are building. Not a country of beggars. We are not going to build this country through social security. We will build this country through shared effort. There are a lot of natural resources in the Northwest untapped. Colonial masters never dabbled with our land that much. We will turn our lakes into beaches. Build skyscrapers. This will be a landlocked country. We will build railroads here. Civilized nation. High-tech nation. With a core group of people that understand each other, know what hard work means. You know what that means going on. You see your brother, neighbors will urge you to be hardworking. It was a community thing to be hardworking. We are going to reignite that spirit, tap into our ancestors, and turn this place into a modern civilization in our lifetime. And it will start by you controlling your mouth. Controlling your mouth. Even if you are in a bar drinking, be careful of what you say. Even if you are in a taxi, be careful of what you say. You see strangers in your community, be careful of what you say around them. That is the future of the Tika people you are selling. Take the time and just study what happened in the Bamileke land from the 1950s to the 1970s. Study it well, because everything that happened to them is happening to us today. UPC was created in 1948. By 1955, it was banned. Why? Because they didn't want colonial masters. Ahijo wanted colonial masters. And who is Pobia? A mentee of Ahijo. Who is Atanga Njipo? A mentee of Pobia. It is the same people, the same strategy they used in the 1950s. And they've used it on us today, and it has worked. Because they live in a stone age, have very little creativity in their approach. And you look at it, it's just very flat. There is really no formidable military in sub-Saharan Africa. We are going to build the first in the United Kingdoms of Tika. Formidable army. Nigeria has 230 million people. Israel has about 40 million people. Israel can destroy Nigeria in 3 days. Israel. We are going to build the first formidable military in the United Kingdoms of Tika. Not a joke. You understand? These people plan for 3 to 5 years. America planned for 50 years. At the minimum, it's 20 years planned for us at the United Kingdoms of Tika. If we cooperate, we will make progress really fast. But if we share our secrets, talk like women, we destroy ourselves. I see some women on this platform, powerful women. 21% of the people watching on this platform are women. Amazing. While 79 is men. Great. That is how we build a society that works, with strong men and strong women that understand what nation building is all about. Not sellouts that are incompetent, ignorant, work as the Minister of Territorial Administration, yet doesn't know his role. What is the criteria they really use in this country to employ someone as a minister? I don't know. You guys tell me that. And they think they can bully everyone. So this is 2025. You will learn how to communicate effectively with people. They are not your cattle. They are not animals. You guys have done this for hundreds of years, and you are the proxy used in this generation, and we say no to this. You are the last from Northwest that will do us like this. It ends here.
Because the enemy is always around us. Who came and met the local authorities to tell us we were deceived and we took the wrong direction. Now,
I know.
This is what you will need to tell the people of the Northwest. That you were deceived, just like your accomplice, Issa Chiroma, said he was deceived by Pobia. You will tell the people of the Northwest you were deceived by Pobia. Are you understanding, my people? Issa Chiroma is a template for you to understand these clowns when they come around. In 2025, no, my people, if we allow people like this and they go on with what they are doing, what are we saying to the world? That this is our standard. This is our standard. And then you expect respect, and then you want to turn around, blame the white man. No, I mean, if we allow people like Atanga Njipo to go on with what they are doing, what are we saying to the world? That this is our standard. This is what we look like. And he goes on to represent us before the Pope. This is our standard. And then when they say you are inferior, the black man is stupid, the black race is ignorant, we get angry. Let Paul Kagame describe individuals like this so you understand and not be fooled.
I know leaders when I see them. I also know idiots when I see them. You can imagine the combination of both of them, the disaster it is. If you are a leader and an idiot, it's a disaster.
If you are a leader and an idiot, you are a disaster. I know a leader when I see one, and I also know an idiot when I see one.
We want to come back in the Republic, forgive us for our crimes. The DDR centers gives us another opportunity to become responsible Cameroonians.
When you look at the story of Joel, he's in Kondengi right now as we speak. The lives of many young men has been frustrated because of that DDR. This man has a Tanganji boys, controls DDR and the Cameroon army. For 9 years, you have not been able to stop the crisis, and the government still trusts you to go around running your mouth. Incompetence, my people. Because you're wrong morally. You're wrong on every count. You don't have the backings of our ancestors. God is not with you. 9 years. If there was a crisis in the United States of America like this, my brother, 1 month maximum, 1 week, the government of this country will solve that problem. And we have seen it time again and again. Even the George Floyd incident, where the entire America rose up. You saw leadership. I mean, we are talking about rational human beings that rose up and said things must change in this country. Yet the government handled that crisis in less than 1 week. We saw competence, leadership. How leaders speak to people, bring order. And this country came back to peace. We've seen it time again and again. Look at the death of Charlie Kirk. The country was almost divided. But the system in this country and the leaders in this country, they know how to bring the nation into order. But when you hire people like this, and you guys are all crooks, and your goal is to manipulate the people, you're struggling with a post-colonial nation, a nation where the people of this country never came together and acquiesced to be part of a nation. And now you're trying to control that. America works because every state was represented and had an input in the drafting of the Federal Constitution of America. That is why it works. Does that make sense? That is why America works.
Even within the Christian life, if there's no act of contrition, there is no redemption. So those who have gone to the DDR centers have started their own act of contrition by saying, I'm sorry for all what we have done, and God will give them the way for their own redemption. Now for the terrorists, the population will always reject you.
So he sets the population against the fighter. Give a dog a bad name so you can hang it. So he calls them terrorists. You see the trick? They call the UPC warriors rebels. That is the mind game. You see, that is why Africa will only celebrate past glories and the resources that we have beneath our soil that we can't even process. We only celebrate past glories. We were once a civilization that produced mathematics. The Greeks came over to learn from us. Pythagoras, Plato, they came to Egypt to learn. We, the Tika people, we come from descendants of individuals that built pyramids in Egypt. That is why we came down as Ngemba people with dealing in ironwork, because it is in our DNA. We can only celebrate past glories. There is nothing to share with the world in our lifetime, and this has gone on for more than 600 years. People like this should not have a voice in our society, should not have a voice, a platform in our community. Moving forward, people with this kind of rhetoric should not have a place in the United Kingdoms of Tika. They are not competent. They are not worth listening to.
The state will reject the terrorism. And now the strange story is that even Lucifer is rejecting the terrorists.
Do you hear the kind of language? This is a minister. This is a minister in your country.
Lucifer's kingdom is a temple of evil. But Lucifer is telling the terrorists from the northwest and the southwest that we ask you to commit atrocities, but you have committed more atrocities than we expected. So you don't even have a space in Lucifer's kingdom. So they have no breathing space.
Why will you create a DDR for terrorists? Why? Why? Don't you realize you're contradicting yourself at every level? You have even internal conflict. You look at the way you speak. I mean, my people, when you see this man talking, do you trust him? No, I want to ask you, honestly, the way this man is speaking, look at his countenance, body language, facial expression, hand gestures. Do you trust this man? You know, I'm asking you honestly, do you trust this man? Or are you scared of the military that is behind this man? Or the people from among us that sell our secrets to this man? Because that's the only way he has power among us. Our people will stop collaborating with him and his power will vanish. He will be irrelevant for that government. And that is how you gain back your power.
So they should drop the weapons and live a normal life. That is the option given to them by President Paul Biya. And President Paul Biya has kept to that promise.
Now we are going to listen to one of their proxies, the system that they have set for you. Those who have hope in this election, find something better to do with your time. If at all Issa Jiruma wins, then it's a switch of power from the East Central back to the North. You, the Bamileke people and the Northwest people, are always the least in this country, and it will continue like that for generations until you wake up. This is the role you play for your own subjugation by complying with this manipulation. East Central and North. Or Paul Biya is going to appoint someone to take over, or he will still win the election and remain in power. You comply for your own subjugation and marginalization. Individuals like this should be coming out, and we see no one there. They realize these people are awake. You have power more than these people, but you give it to them. I want to repeat, you have more power. The people will always have power. That is what Ninjom Frunzi meant when he said power to the people. You always have the power. The people will always have the power. But through gossip, corruption, greed, being a spy or informant, you give the power of the community to these individuals. for the subjugation of your own people. And you will be subjugated, marginalized as well. And that temporal safety, pleasure that you're looking for will end up hurting you and your community for a very long time. Let us listen to another dignitary, proxy in that system, share with you their plans for your life. If you are still deceived by election and what is happening at the surface.
This is the regime of the Cameroon from the beginning, from 1960, and we will not change even in 200 years.
That is a regime from the 1960s. They will not change even in 200 years. They know exactly what they are doing. You don't read your history, you don't know who you are. You only understand maybe 5 to 10 years of your history. At most 1960, you don't understand the evolution of your people. So you will always be played by people that know your history.
This is the regime of the Cameroon from the beginning, from 1960, and we will not change even in 200 years.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
I've said it time again and again. If you are afraid of the colonel, if you are afraid of the commissioner, if you are afraid of the SDO or the GO, go and meet the traditional authorities. Go and meet the priest. Go and meet the bishop. Go and meet the pastor. And
he has outlined everyone that is working with them. The funds, the chiefs, the pastors, the priests in our community are cooperating with this system. And if you are afraid of them, just go surrender yourself to our allies. You will lose your parish, lose your church, lose your palace for these short-term gains or fear that you have in your heart. Just read the history of the Bamileke people. Help you have perspective. So that for once in our lifetime, we can stand up and be men that are respected in this part of the world and around the world.
Tell him that I want to come out of the bush. Please take me to the general. Please take me to the colonel. Take me to the governor. Take me to the DO. And you can be settled. And I can say it clearly that all those who have dropped their weapons, all legal issues against them were dropped.
If you really say these people were terrorists and then they surrender their weapons and everything is dropped, then the allegations that you're making against these people is all lies. Because you, first of all, you know the history of this country. Acting naive, but you know. This is the individual who said there's no Anglophone crisis. Unbelievable. And tomorrow they will say, oh, I was coaxed by Paul Biya. And the population will foolishly accept people like this. That is what is happening with Issa Chiroma. And that is the short-term thinking of people in this part of the world. I want to let you know, my people, you are brave people. Don't let what has happened to us over time define us. The American Psychological Association, the American Anthropological Association have done the test to realize that the DNA of humans are identical, 99.9%. So the white man is not superior to the black man. They've done that test. It's just your actions. The only thing that differentiates us might be nutrition, exposure, or education. They've done the test that the human DNA is identical. And color of the skin is not a determinant for how intelligent someone will be. Do you understand? I want to repeat that again. The American Psychological Association, the American Anthropological Association have done this research that there is no biological proof